that's good. Okay, red dot. It's not every day when I'm traveling that I meet somebody with multiple projects going on. So this stop was quite interesting. Hey everyone, welcome to the Experimental Aircraft channel. Today I stopped off at Taildragger Enterprises here in Pikeville, North Carolina to give you a quick tour of the shop and several projects going on in this hangar. So many of you may know this guy that I'm standing next to here through Experimental Aviation. The name's been around for quite some time. Scott Woods, who, if you followed Experimental Aviation at all, is his grandfather developed the Woody Pusher, and we'll cover that in another episode. But we're here today at his hangar, and why don't you just tell everybody about you for a minute, what you're doing here, and kind of your background in aviation.
A little bit about background is I was third generation. My granddad would design and build aircraft, home built. Actually worked for North American and helped design the OV-10 Bronco.
Awesome.
And
I flew in one of those once.
Oh, I wish I could. And then after that, he went out on his own. He worked for Benson Gyrocopters for a while, which is what brought him to North Carolina. And then he went to designing his own aircraft, or he'd already had the Pusher design when he came, and then he started on the others, and had Aerosport for a while. And but third generation, my dad is a pilot and mechanic as well.
So you're an AMP and a IA?
AMP, IA, private pilot. So just fly, mostly light sport stuff is what and experimentals is what I mainly deal with as far as flying.
Cool. Well, give us a quick tour of the hangar.
Okay.
All right, Scott. Well, unavoidable when you walk into this hangar is you've got a Wilga right here, and it looks, well, we all know what a Wilga is. It looks very much like a Draco. So why are you getting ready to build a Patey machine, or why is this in your hangar? What's the story behind it?
Well, it's a mini Draco, I guess. It's had the radial engine on it. It's a '69 Wilga 35, and it had the radial on it, and the owner wanted to turn it into a flat engine, and he originally started out as just a engine swap, and then the more we got into it, while it was down, let's do this, and now it's going to be a total restoration. New panel, new brake system, new fuel flow system, and then the 300 horse Lycoming and Hartsville constant speed prop that came off of Mike Patey's airplane when he did the conversion.
Nice.
So
this was an airworthy flying plane, just needed an engine update.
Right, and it was completely airworthy and flying, and like I said, it started out as an engine swap, so now it's getting everything.
And what color do you think your customer's gonna have this thing painted at?
Last we discussed, it was going to be solid red.
Nice. So the engine swap, you said going to a flat engine, meaning a typical piston versus or a inline piston versus a radial?
Yeah, it's going to have the IO 540 Lycoming on it.
Which is what horsepower?
300.
300. Which is going to be plenty for this. It's not...
yeah, it'll be plenty because the radial was 265, so.
Scott, yeah, you really have a good kind of cross-section of all kinds of different aircraft in your hangar today, so feel really blessed to be able to stop by and visit you and see what's going on here. So moving right along to the next project, what do you have sitting here?
It's a Kitplane 7 STI. It's more or less a builder assist. The guy bought it kit for him, and he's like the third owner of the kit, and we're to the point now of getting the tanks put in permanently and putting the ribs and the leading edges on, and then won't be long after that we'll be starting to cover on that. But we've done most of the work to this point. We've varnished all the ribs. We've started fitting the pieces, the rib that actually goes to the side of the fuselage, and just got to get the tank put in place so that we can put these in to stay, so the wing will fold.
What, and this is obviously a fabric covered airplane, what type of a system are you or the customer choosing to go with?
He's wanting to deal with the polyfiber system. He's got everything ordered from Kitfox, and we've already got the fabric, we've got the glue and everything, so everything's going to be done with the polyfiber.
Okay, is this pretty much a standard kit or any other options that came with it?
About the only options are the gear. He's got the Shockmaster gear. Other than that, it's a STI wing, and it'll have the fence and the STI tips, and obviously the different airfoil, but it's pretty standard other than the gear. I need to go with the Shockmaster gear.
If you're finding value in this video, hit the like button on this video, and it's really important that you subscribe, as it helps me get sponsors like Airworx, Kitplane parts, ACME AERO, Edge Performance engines, and Viking aircraft engines. And be sure to check out the links in the description below for special offers from our affiliates. Let's jump back in. And here's a special offer from Kitplane parts. Free shipping. Use the code MAYEXPERIMENTAL. So here's the fuselage. You said the only modifications are basically the Shockmaster suspension.
Right.
And which engine will you be mounting on this?
This one's getting the 912, 100 horse 912 on it. I think he's wanting to start with that and get used to it, and then maybe go up a little bit bigger in the future. But he's getting a 912 on it, and it's got, other than that, other than the Shockmaster gear, is pretty much the way a
factory
7 comes. Yeah.
Okay. I see you got the control, the foot pedals in, the controls installed.
Yeah, we're fitting the side panels for the console now. All the adjustable pedals and the flap handle, all that's put in. The rudder cables are in, header tank. Probably.
Is that a Kitfox part, the header tank, or is that from Kitfox, or how does the header tank?
Yeah,
where do they usually come from?
That's Kitfox.
That's from Kitfox.
Yeah, that's just like it comes in the kit. We'll probably, if we can get in here and knock it out, we're probably about a week from being able to put fabric on. We're going to paint the tubing, all the tubing here, we're going to paint that black, and then run a few more cables and fit the trailing edge piece onto the vertical, and it'll be pretty much ready for fabric.
Wow. So these can go together pretty quickly then.
Yeah, they can. Obviously I got multiple projects, so I have to split my time, but yeah, they go together pretty quickly. I mean, even the floorboards, when they come from the factory, are already pre-cut. You just have to trim to fit, and then we varnished them. I'm gonna put some covering over top of that instead of painting it. As far as the console is concerned, make it look a little nicer. But that's.
All right, so moving right along through your hangar, you've got yet another project, and this one is a Challenger 2. What's going on with this project, Scott?
This one's getting an engine change. It's going from a HKS to a Hearth, and new prop, and then some upgrades to make it a little stiffer and heavy duty upgrades for it. But we're redoing the wiring. Just going to, like I said, engine change, redo the wiring, some upgrades to it to make it a little stiffer, and then put it back together and test fly it. And we get it all done, it's going to West Virginia.
So how do you come across these projects? People just give you a call and say, hey, I've got this. Do you work on these? Are you willing to work on this? How does that conversation start for you?
Yeah, well, this particular one was a referral from someone else. I've done some work with and for in the past, and he referred it to me because the guy that had it was held up in North Carolina, and it was closer. But yeah, this one came as a referral. I mean, I've gotten stuff off of ads I've placed places, but this one was a referral. So
Okay, and you got this one, and then you got a couple other fuselages and or complete planes. Is this all from the same customer? Which?
No, there's another customer that owns those over there, and he's big into the light sport, experimental powered parachute stuff, and he owns those, and that's going to be, as soon as we clear out some space in here, but that's going to be some of the other projects that we tackle to get them flying and do some upgrades to them, and probably a couple of them are going to get completely recovered.
All right, Scott. Well, I definitely don't believe I've ever seen this airframe before. This is brand new to me, so introduce me to it. What are we looking at here?
This is an AeroSport Quail, single seat, all metal, cantilever wing, tricycle gear, and it could run a 1600 to 1800 VW and would cruise 110 miles an hour. It was designed by my granddaddy. He sold kits for it, plans and kits, back in the early 70s, mid 70s, and I'm trying to bring back to life some of his designs, and this is one of them. I'm actually going to put this one together and paint it like the original, and it'll be based here in North Carolina.
Okay, so this is a single seat experimental,
right?
Powered by the Volkswagen and the 65 horsepower stock Volkswagen,
right?
Essentially,
right. So, yeah, basically 60 horsepower, but.
And this is all metal construction,
right?
Uses a gusset type system for your bulkheads,
you got bulkheads in the middle, and then you have the stiffeners that go lengthwise for it to reduce oil cannon and add strength. It's a very simple airplane to build. That's what he had in mind when he designed it. Was he wanted something that would be simple to build and easy to fly for the low time pilot. Even the wings have flaps, so it's a single seat version of the 150, so to speak. I mean, because it flies, lands, takes off a lot like one, but it's light sport, experimental categories.
The difference is also, you said, like, this is a cantilevered wing.
Yeah,
there's no struts.
No struts. Cantilever wing, and extremely strong. I mean, if you look at the one back there, that one went over on its back, and the guy walked away from it without a scratch. So they're.
Is this available right now? Are the plans available for this at the moment?
Plans are available. Can get them through me about any time you want them. But the plans for all of his designs are available, other than one, and I've got to work on that one some.
Okay. And what this is all metal aircraft construction. What would you estimate building from plans? How long it might take if you're scratch building this, essentially?
Scratch building from plans, maybe 600 hours, 700 hours, because there's some parts in here that need to be machined. Take a block of aluminum and stick it in a milling machine. So that's something that would have to be, unless you have that capability, would have to be taken to a machine shop, because until I get to my next further plans are to try to do the kits, bring those back to life, but still trying to get set up for that. Yeah, you can go to the Facebook. It's AeroSport Experimental Designs. The YouTube page right now is basically just the pusher and a couple of the aircraft that we fly. There'll be more on the YouTube for that in the future. But right now, the Woody's pusher is on Facebook. It has its own page, and then there's the AeroSport Experimental Designs.
Excellent. All right. Well, thank you for the tour today, Scott.
Yes. Appreciate you being here.
To learn more about what Scott is doing, both at his hangar here at Taildragger Enterprises and these other designs his grandfather produced, check out the link in the description below. Remember to like and subscribe. I'll see you in the next episode. Thanks for watching.